Welcome guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be doing something special. I am starting a series called Not an Interview, a podcast with video. So our lovely guest here, Nancy, how are you?
I'm good.
We are talking today about friendship and social media. One of the things that we were discussing before we started filming was how the Instagram app has changed. The algorithm is pushing certain things for us to see. How our interactions are different. We also talked a little bit about ways that we can have more control over the things that, we put our time into. Deleting social media accounts and turning off certain notifications. Sometimes you just can't help but to click on that notification.
I think because it brings like I don't know what chemical in the brain, but like
The dopamine? The dopamine?
Is it dopamine?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, somebody looked at my page or somebody commented or like, I don't know, like the instant gratification of being noticed maybe. If that's also one of the reasons of why we're so like attached to social media, because we feel seen or
heard, even if the other person doesn't really get the message. You don't know that, so you do think that people agree with me.
And also I was thinking, like, when you were talking about having your accounts for your YouTube channel, because I was, how I was talking about how people choose what they want to post, like what they want to share and what image they want to give off to the world, basically. It also is different with people who have like brands, because there are people who like their page is full of only one thing, like whether it's cooking or plants or fitness, like that's just all that they are. And I think something that I was like struggling was like, why are people not acknowledging or not embracing all their different sides? Like for example, for me would be like my very Mexican side, my very indie, or like how I love to be in nature, and how I'm silly, how I'm like bougie sometimes, like there's so many sides of me that I don't want to be perceived as only one.
Like you don't want to be put in a box. This is only me.
Right. Yeah. And I'm like, why are people not doing that? Like, why do they only post about certain things? But then, and like how I mentioned, like I brought it up with my therapist, and I was able to like understand, like, people have brands. There are people who only post about certain things because that is their brand. Their fitness page is their brand, or their cooking page is their brand. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's the only person that they are. And they have that right, the right to set boundaries of how much they want to share of their personal life. So I guess caught in between.
Yeah. I feel like when you mentioned that their page only being a certain feed, it kind of makes me think and go back into when I had multiple social media accounts but deleted a bunch because it just got to be too much. And I decided to only keep the social media that's only for my YouTube. And because I feel like I was trying to not annoy people so much on my personal page about, oh, hey, actually, I have a channel now and like this is what I'm doing and blah, blah, blah. If I make a page that's only for my brand, then people are aware that this is what's going to be coming out. My content is going to be about like YouTube stuff. Then they have the option to follow me on this like page and this journey if they want to. But they also don't have to, because that way they also have me on like the other page. But like I'm saying, I feel like I just feel like overwhelmed and like too many accounts. So I decided to put a little bit of both. Like I would post things about like my personal life, but mostly I feel like I try to stick to the YouTube thing, just so it's kind of like people are reminded that this is like the account that I have, But I feel like within that, I also think about how having a brand for yourself, it does put like a lot of pressure on you want to be liked and you want to get people's attention because you're trying to do this thing and you're trying to grow from it. Before, I used to not be on stories if I didn't have a filter, or if I didn't have makeup on, or like my hair was done, or like something was like put together. And now I feel like people might be able to see the difference, that I'll be like nappy hair and I'm just like, I just woke up and I'm talking and my voice is all messed up. But now I don't care about those things as I used to before. It just took time to be comfortable with myself, the way that I look and the way that I think, and just know that it's okay to not always be like a certain way. If I think that something's funny and I'll upload a story about it, then I'll look at the story like over and I'm like, okay, like, is this okay? I'm like, well, but you know what? I'll be laughing on my own story, and that's what makes me post it. I have never received a message or a reply on my story saying like, dude, why didn't you do your hair? Like just something negative about my image. At the end of the day, some people really don't care.
And I think that's what I'm saying, that's how like social media has become now. And you're right, I think we take it very personal. Like we think that people care about these things as much as we do. Like, we think that they care if we go on without makeup, when really we're just projecting our own insecurities, and we're the only ones that care, because literally they don't care.
I feel like we should go back into the original stuff, you know, even if you try, because you know how like you have the option to, it's not a filter, but it's kind of like a layer of like different colors. Like you can do black and white, or you can do, those don't change your face. They just change the color of the picture. Yeah. I feel comfortable using that now. I really try to push myself to not do that, because then it just feels like I'm playing myself, not even other people, but like myself. I'm like, wait, you're trying to like grow in this area, so like do as much as you can to like make it better.
You're recognizing, like, you're reflecting on yourself, like, why am I doing this? Like, like when we're talking about posting something that was funny, like, why am I posting this? Like, the reason behind it is because I think it's funny. Or why do I feel like nobody's gonna like it? Like, it's our own insecurities. And the same thing goes with the filters. Like, why am I becoming so dependent with this filter that changes the cheeks or my eyes? Like, and you're noticing, like, the more that I use it, the more that I'm noticing my imperfections or my flaws. And like, I either want to hide them or I want to like embrace them, because, and I know that there are people that still continue to use filters. Like, they really depend on the filters. Because they just like, if maybe they're not ready to accept themselves as they are. And then there are those people that are like, if I that are aware that if you continue to use it, you're gonna get this like body, this dysmorphia or whatever it is, like, because you're not accepting how you really look like. And I think that's important, because we're setting that boundary of like, I don't want to become dependent of this filter. Like, this is who I really am. I'm funny. So I knew that, like, this is who I really am. I have cheeks. Okay, they're there. They're not gonna go away. When people see me, they're gonna see my hair like this. Like, they're gonna see my eyes like that. And being true to yourself.
What do you think would be a good way to find new friends? If you already have your friends, but then if you were trying to find new friends, how would you like go about it?
That's so hard, because like, I'll have followers, right? People that I know, and the people that are my friends or once were my friends, but the connection isn't there anymore. Like, it's hard to, like, again, by going back to the comment section, it's not about interacting anymore. It's about validating, or maybe like a lot of comparison and like judging. You on the other side of the screen, you're making a judgment of that person's picture and whatever's in that picture, and it's not so much of like, oh my gosh, that looks so good, or like, I've been there before, we should go sometime, or where did you get those shoes, like, I've been looking for those, like, will you show me where you found that plant, whatever. It's more like, oh my gosh, yeah, it's so pretty.
It's just more like, let me give you a compliment and like be done with it and move on.
Yeah. Same with like in stories, like, you see how many people looked at your story, but like, how many actually engaged with you in that story? Or if you're asking a question, like, how many actually engage with that question or that survey or whatever it is? People are just lurking, I feel like, and including me. I know that I'm just swiping or scrolling, and because that's what it's become, and it's so hard to like try and get back to how it used to be, where we would talk more, you know. And I don't know, it's hard.
I feel like one of the things that can also be hard is when, like you're saying, with people that you used to be close with and now you're not, then sometimes things can get a little awkward. This is awkward. I'm just gonna like keep living my life.
Yeah, well, because you're also not the person that you used to be even a year ago. Like, the person that I was a year ago, I am not that person. Like, if you're following me because we went to high school together, like, you don't know me anymore. Like, I'd be happy to re-meet each other. It is kind of awkward when you're posting something personal or like something that's new that you're showing the world, and then you see somebody like an old family member or whatever, or like an old friend, you see like they're watching your stuff and you're like, oh, like,
you kind of like hope that they understand that this is like who you are now, I guess. I've definitely been in that position before, that I'm just like, I know that it might not make sense because you haven't been a part of my life, and you're seeing things now, and this is who I am now.
Like, you have this perception of me, or you think that like when you view something, you think that I mean it in this way, but really I mean it in this other way. Like if I post a story of a quote, you think that this is what I actually mean, when like I'm not that person anymore, and what I mean is the opposite.
Have you been in a position to where there was like a falling out with one of your friends and you're trying to communicate through social media, giving people hints so they hopefully reply to you and reach out?
I probably have. I feel like I have. I think with falling out with friends, if it's like a mutual falling out with no like hard feelings, I'll just I'll do it. It's like a very like a soft soft falling out. I don't think if I've fallen out with somebody because of something negative, I have like negative feelings out of it, or like resentment maybe, I try not to continue following them, just because again it brings negative feelings or whatever.
It's also like in a way a good thing for them as well. Like it's not just about me. It's like you'll do good without like knowing about me.
Also, don't take it personal if somebody stops following you, because that just means that like, again, your worlds don't mesh. They don't. But you know your truth. You know like that you can go on with your life and they can go on with their life, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I mean, to go up to a person and be like, why did you unfollow me, or why did you block me? Like, do you really want to know? Because if it bothered you that I unfollowed you, it's going to bother you even more when I tell you the reasons why I unfollowed you. Like, can you really handle it if you can't even accept that right now we don't really mesh, so let's just go on our separate ways.
How do we go about like making things better? Like if you were to like, I don't know, give someone an advice, you know, if they're like in that place where like they can't really like make friends on social media, or like they're totally just like stuck on like their phone, what would be one thing that you would say to this person to kind of like help them in a sense?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Like, just because there's so many layers, I think I would try to make them understand that social media is just one small like capture of like a way bigger picture. Like there's so much more behind that picture. And imagine taking a picture of outside, but people just crop it to show the dog, whatever. You are not able to see that in the back there's a couple arguing, or there's a car crash, like there's war, whatever it is. Like people are just choosing to show you the picture of the dog. And so there's so much more going on behind social media that we just aren't aware of. And I think that can help them understand that not to trust everything that they see, and to know that when they post something, they don't have to show everything, and they themselves are choosing to show only what they want to show.
I like the analogy that you used of that is just a tiny picture of what makes a bigger picture. Because when you put your phone down, there's a whole life that you have. You have a job, you have family, like you have, you know, your hobbies. There's like stuff that you should pay attention to as well, than just like a device that fits in your pocket. Friendship wise, I would say you can always reach out to that person, and like you can make that move, because there's just space, and there's so many people, there's always room for things to happen. So even if you can't, if a friendship doesn't work with a certain person, like there's other people that you can have like a connection with, and like you might be surprised like who you might end up being connected with, and like having like a good friendship.
And it's not bad to acknowledge that like a friendship with somebody didn't work out. Like it sounds kind of bad, it sounds sad, like, oh, we didn't work out, like it wasn't a good fit. But it's honestly a good thing, because it's just telling you this is not somebody that aligns with the life that you want to live. Like it's just a sign of move on and go find that person that does align with you. And like I'm reconnecting with a friend that I was friends with in college. We like reconnected, and like adults we're like, okay, so what does this friendship look like? What do you expect? What does it look like for you to, like, what does this new friendship look like to you? And we both acknowledge that like we're not the same people as we were in college. We both have our partners now. We both think differently, feel differently, and this is what we need from a friendship. Like I was telling her I don't want to do the small talk of like, so where do you work, and like how are you, and oh my gosh, COVID, like no, like I want a friendship. Like listen, I feel like shit today, I just need to a friend to listen to me. What do we need from each other? Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
Like,
just be mature about it. And
yeah.
You mentioned that you need a different friendship from when, back then. Do you find, like, what kind of friendship, like, if you were to want or need a friendship now, what would that friendship look like? Like, what is it that you want in a friendship? And this could be someone that you completely don't know, or someone that you are reconnecting with. Like, what does it look like for you?
Oh, that's really hard because right now I'm going through like a period in my life where I'm trying to find myself again, because I'm starting to realize that a lot of who I am was the person that other people told me I should be. It's getting kind of lonely being like understanding that I don't know if like the friends that I had were because I was a different person. Like I'm finding myself, my new self, and so I'm like, I don't know what I need. Like,
yeah,
my whole life has been me just projecting or reflecting what other people wanted to see from me, and like I don't even know, like,
so you're getting to know yourself at this point.
Yeah.
Know yourself again.
What does that friendship look like? Right now I just need somebody to listen, I guess, and to understand that I'm changing, that I'm evolving, that I'm finding out who I want to be, and if it gets lonely, that they're there for me. I don't know, it's hard. And every day is different too. Like every day, like I need something different.
Yeah. Someone that just like understands.
Yeah. And that I don't have to explain like every single thing. That's
so cool that you mentioned how you're finding yourself again and like getting to know yourself, because it's become apparent to you that you were someone else before because of what people were telling you to be.
I think like I was telling my husband, like, I was kind of nervous, and I was telling Julimar, my roommate. She's my roommate.
Oh, she's your roommate?
Yeah, she is.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Friend, my roommate. Yeah. So she was, like, really excited that I was coming. She's like, yeah, because we always having these conversations, like, talking about, like, the way we grew up, like, why we think things, and ideas that are very limited, and beliefs that are very limited, and all this. So she was, like, really excited that I was coming. She's like, yeah, you should come and talk about all these things. And I was telling Julimar, I was like, I'm kind of nervous because I don't want to say something that then later, like in a year, doesn't align with me anymore, or like isn't a value of mine anymore.
I'm glad that you said that. I'm so glad that you said that, because if you hadn't said that, then I wouldn't like think of it. But I recently watched the Billie Eilish like film on Apple TV or something like that. And they, you know how she has a song of Xanny, the drug. I think it might have been like her like assistant or something, but they were talking to her. They were like, do you really want to make a song talking about that, how like, because the song says like, I don't need a Xanny or something like that to like whatever. And the mom was defending Billie because she was like, you can't take this away from her, pretty much, because it's like you're not letting her like do her life. Like, for example, how you were like, I don't want to say something now that like in a year from now I'm not gonna be resonating with. But it's kind of like, I feel like we should allow ourselves to do those things, because you cannot not let yourself grow. So it's like, I don't know, I feel like I'm making it way more confusing.
No, you're making sense.
But it's kind of like, if I do something now and I'm learning from it, why would I stop that? Like, I can look back at it and be like, oh wow, before I used to think like that, but now this is who I am now. And I feel like that's a beautiful thing, that you allow yourself to make that happen and not feel bad about it, because we're always so afraid of saying things,
saying the wrong thing.
And it's kind of like, we were not born with answers. We were not born in like how to guide of like, actually, if you ever run up to this problem, or if you have a conflict, this is how you should like. No, and not everyone is the same either. Like, you could react a different way that I react, and that doesn't make it wrong. So I feel like we should normalize that of like, this is who I am now. Let me be who I am now. And that's okay. And if I mess up or something, then that's just a part of me. I did that. But then you're fine, so don't take it away from me. Yeah.
Or if I change my mind, like, I'm allowed to change my mind.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, like.
Because we're constantly growing. We're constantly evolving. And especially when you're in a time where you're trying to find yourself and like getting to know yourself and like getting to know things that you like, and that's the space to do all of the things of like, I'm gonna try this, no, this didn't work, so now I'm gonna try another thing. So to end the video, I feel like we should end the video on a note of like giving ourselves the space to grow, to make mistakes, and to not take ourselves too seriously, whether it's like on social media or like not in social media. I feel like people learn much more from messing up than from someone telling them how to do something, so they don't mess up.
100%. Yeah, I think it's important to learn so many things, meet people, like try things, mess up, be wrong, find out just the way, like so many different ways that people live their life and different ways to do life. Like you said, don't take it so serious. Like, we're here to have fun and to share love and laugh, be silly
and connect with one another, like be engaged with someone's life other than just, I really like your outfit, it's cute today, or something like that. Like, let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation
like this.
Like this.
Because when was the last time that we saw each other?
Probably my quince. That was like almost 7 years ago. That's
no.
So ¿Sí, no?
No, but
¿Cuándo?
6 years ago. How old are you?
27.
6 years ago, you were 20.
Oh,
that was like
so
15 years ago?
No, because I would have been 10. Like 11, no?
11. Yeah.
Math.
But long time ago.
Yeah.
But here we are having a conversation.
Here we are. And see, so this is what happened. Nancy is my cousin, and we met when I was 15 years old, when I came after I was here, because I came to the US when I was 10. And then when it was my quince, I feel like that's when we were officially introduced.
Yeah, our families were like, here, you're cousins.
Yeah. Like, and the way that it happened was that her brother, so my cousin, was one of my chambelanes, and then that's how it happened. But if not, then we would still, and it's not even that. Okay, so the point that I was trying to make is that I've known of her for a while. I was the one who reached out. And I added you on social media. I remember, because I'm like, oh, she's my cousin, and like, we are not on the same grade. I feel like you're a grade younger, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if like we would click. I was like, but you know what, she seems cool, and like I remember her, we're cousins, so like if it doesn't work out, then it's fine. But it's like making that like baby step, and then
that initial step.
Interacting in social media, another baby step, and like, now asking you like, hey, would you be interested, because I always like see you posting. And I feel like those are like the things that could help us a lot. Like, we don't necessarily have to like reach out right away, like add someone, and then is it it's focused, I'm just blind. I'm like, why does it look blurry? No, I'm just blind. But you don't have to like add someone right away and then like ask them to go out right away, you know. It's just you start building that like connection through social media, so it can be a good tool if we use it the right way. And I'm so glad that we did this.
Me too.
We came to an end.
It worked out.
Is there anything, do you want me to like link your social media on like the video, or like on here?
Yeah,
I can have your name on here.
Yeah, people can follow me if they want to actually have a connection, not just lurk, or just to be chismosos. I actually want to make friends. Like, I want to talk to people. I enjoy talking. Obviously, I enjoy talking to people. When you asked me to come, I was like, hell yeah, I'm so down. Like,
Yeah,
So,
I'm so happy that was your reaction, because there's a lot of people that are just like shy, and like you don't know, because on their social media they're not shy, but then they're like, oh, actually, I don't know. So yeah, I'm really
and it's
happy.
my first time doing this, so I was like,
yeah,
I don't care if it's my first time, like I enjoy this, so I would love to have this with other people too.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, well guys, thank you so much for watching, and if you guys have any like suggestions, I guess, on how to connect in social media, you can just leave them in the comment section below and actually have a conversation. You guys can have a conversation with each other. And yeah, till next time. Bye. We should do like a thumbnail.
Okay.
We can hold our coffees.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.